Evening team. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I definitely did. Want to just dive into everything right now. I'm not honestly caring about CLF. I'm not caring about oil futures, anything like that, because I have no position. So I'm not going to focus on something I'm not positioned into. But I'm going to focus on ES, SPY. We do have the 300 puts as a hedge for this week, expiring tomorrow, which should possibly pay at least a double. I basically had this chart drawn a while ago. This is an H4 chart, which is the 4-hour chart. We have a support level at 29.77 or 29.78. We round that up to the nearest quarter, which would be 29.78. Want to see that level hold. And as you guys know, I love gap downs. Gap downs are always great. And especially when you're gapping down to previous breakout level. So that's actually good, which is the 29.78 level. I mean, going in tomorrow, we'll basically be trading SPY calls. And by tomorrow morning, we should be taking profit on those SPY puts as well. Two issues here is we can actually have a couple of things happen here. Let me actually remove this channel. We can have a continuation down below 29.78 and test 29.45 or 29.46. We run it up to the nearest quarter. 14 SMA vacuum down. And then we have that 30 SMA vacuum down as well as a possibility. But as long as price continues to hover, or we can channel out here and flag above 29.78. As long as we stay above this level, the 14 and 30 SMA will continue to head basically towards these two levels, which is our gray bar and our purple bar here. So that's what we actually want. We want them to continue to rise and catch up with the price. Or in a sense, price always catches up with our 14 and 30 SMA when it vacuums down. So these are two levels that we actually want to hold. So now I'm going to get into individuals. I want to focus on Netflix. I'm not a fan, but I'm a fan of setups. I love money. And as I tell you guys this. This is a daily chart. I'm actually going to get a better chart than this. So what stand out the most to me was this asymmetrical triangle, weekly, in the daily, the monthly. I mean, they all play it. I'm not even sure if it works out on the quarterly. Even on the quarterly, it works out as well. I chose the 300 calls because, I mean, just the setup alone, they were pretty beaten down. One thing I'm not a fan of is the quarterly has a box, a reversal box, which is more of a on the short side. Still has a chance to go to the 14 SMA on the quarterly. It doesn't have to happen this quarter. It can actually happen next quarter. It depends on how we close up. Maybe 324.12. I want to see that level hold. Possible hammer off of there. But we basically bounce off the double bar of 288.64 and 277.70. A better visual will be on the weekly. Weekly's been trying to find some type of bottom. Weekly's actually weekly. The thing about the weekly I love is that it's been hovering below the 14 and 30 SMA, so a vacuum is definitely due. And we've seen that happen before. Everything is about timing. It's about finding that bottom. And it's not easy. Like here, we basically broke down all the way down, and then we vacuumed up within 2 weeks. Here we vacuumed down. I mean, not even vacuumed down. We pulled down, but we basically found support at the double bar. And then we're looking for a possible next 2 weeks or maybe a week. We start this week with a vacuum. Depending on how market opens tomorrow, possibly gap down to 288.64. Double bar retest one more time. And then close the gap on SPY, which would be awesome. Get us a little vacuum here. Possible pullback, but it depends on how they want to do it. It can be similar to this last one on this side, where we vacuumed up to 14, and then we gapped up outside. We gapped up above the 14, all the way to the 30 SMA, found support there, and then we just hovered above it before breaking down. So the goal is to vacuum to 324, hold that level on the weekly, which will be the 14 SMA, and then possibly come back down, test the support, and then test the 30 SMA, and then price continues to hover basically within this range before breaking back up to 352.79. We're going to be in this range for a while. We're going to be in here for a while. The last time we touched 288 or below 300s should be the make or break. Either we'll buy puts to hedge, and we'll look at longer term calls for at least the 350s about a month to 2 months out. So that's that for Netflix. So going into this week, our 300 calls, they actually did well Friday for those that took profit. Me, I'm holding on to them. I want to see how they react. I might add to them this week. But I like the setup. The daily is beautiful. Looks like the last setup from last time. Took it a while to get above and hold above the 14 and 30 SMA like it did over here in December. So we're doing the same thing. Got a falling wedge, 1430 SMA. Price had tested the 30 SMA. It hasn't done that since what? July. And now we tested it again in September, early September. Came back down, rejected the 14 as well. Found support at 288.64. Then we closed above the 14 SMA. We haven't done that since July 16th. Well, July 12th. So now the next thing we want is a close above the 14 SMA. The 30 SMA on the daily. We're going to look for the in-betweens. Like I used the Fibonacci retracement. So I'll put that from red bar, mid-red bar. I'm actually going to pull it over here from December since the price action gapped up from around there. Pull it down to here. So the most important level this week would be 301.95. We got to get above that. A nice hold above 296.67 by Tuesday or Wednesday would be great for that, for our 300 calls. Possibly 310.47 this week would be nice. Max out 317, meaning max out means the max high for this week would possibly be around 317.36. If it gets any aggressive than that, 324.12. I don't see why not. But it's happened. I don't know what happened. That was December lows, and then everything just started going up. So everything depends on news and other different factors of the market. So that's Netflix. Next up, we're going to go over Dow. Dow has been paying us nicely. This is already the third week we're going into Dow. I'm still riding the 47 calls. It's a lot of messiness on this chart. Give me 1 second. So here's our Dow chart. Dow actually has exceeded everything that we wanted it to. We've tested that 48.15, and we closed basically just above it, which is very bullish to me. I would like to see a pullback within this channel to at least 46.69 or even 45.23 to go longer into the 52.50 calls, at least October to December. Let me clean this up, much better. So this is definitely going to be a nice long-term play. I like it. I'm still holding the 47 calls for October 4th. Still got 2 weeks time for those. I'm only riding one right now. Other than that, the 14 and 30 SMA is about to cross. Makes it more bullish to me. Weekly is beautiful as well. Very strong weekly candle as well. Very strong one. Close above the 14 SMA. There's no 30 SMA as chart is still building. So next target is 51.69 and then 52.87. When we were live, I basically posted, I think I have it here for Dow. What was it? It was the 5250 calls. Those were for October 18th. They were trading at least 20 cents. It was 10 by 20. I know a couple of you got it while we were live. I said I'm going to get into that possibly Friday, but I didn't. I was into other things. But this week I'm actually going to start making a move into that. I want to see us retest 47.14. So a nice gap down below 47.14 on the weekly would be nice. Bounce off of that and close above 48.15. Get into those longer terms because I like that for Dow. So it should do very, very well. But longer term, I like this play a lot. It's done well in the past. Next up, we're going to go over NetEase. Definitely one of my favorites. This is a lot of different factors, bullish, bearish. And this is all from just my visual, from what I see. I like this inside weekly, very strong. But the factor about this one is this candle looks too similar. And as you guys are going to see right now, exactly what it looks similar to. This is March, April 1st. And then we have that week of the April 8th. This is somewhat of a weekly candle combo, but it became two insides, and then it became an outside, and then it's at the top of the channel. So what would be the play here? I'm not saying history is going to repeat, but it would be sexy if it did. Why? We get the same setup. Hold on. A setup like this happening over here would be lovely, to be honest. So the play here would be, okay, we gap down or we open flat, then we push down, close red, below 268, or even come down and test this blue line here. And then the following week after, we'll take long calls, possibly end of this midweek. 280s, and then another 3 weeks out, 290 calls. The thing about these levels are, like I told you, 268.96 was an important level to get back above and hold. If we can continue holding this level right here for the next 2 weeks, we test 289.27. Any break above that should send us to around 320, but that's going to be with time. So I'm looking at January for 320s. But NetEase is a tricky one, so remember that. NetEase can have big swing dailies. Has some gaps it has to fill too, but it depends on how you look at it. I mean, I'm not going to look at all of these gaps that they have here. It will take a lot for that to happen. But it has a nice flag. I love this chart. I love this setup. I like the rising 14 and 30 SMA. They're coming above. That 14 should test that 268.96. If we do gap down tomorrow, that will make for that vacuum to happen on the 14. Then a nice bounce over that would be sufficed. See, this one is building exactly similar. Hold on. But this one is more different. This one is, see, the first box is showing more of a downside as opposed to more of a bullish setup, which like price is stabilizing. This one is more constructive on the second box here. So I like it here if this can hold. Everything is, see, as you can see, and another thing I look at too, I look at every single thing. 14 SMA core started down here. And this one started up here above our green bar, which is our fib level, 242.92. The last one happened below 236.78, which is the lower fib level. So this is getting actually more interesting. I actually like this setup. Still going to be bullish. And NetEase has a mind of its own. Sometimes follows SPY, sometimes it doesn't. So keep that in mind. Just be hawkish. Be like, hawk everything. Hawk levels as if you've never done it before. Look at every single thing. A lot of people ask questions, oh, what are our levels for NetEase? You guys, I'm posting this chart. Watch the video. The idea of these videos is to write it down in your notes, take a screenshot, or set alerts overnight. So for the next day, or even set the alerts the next day as well. Write these down in your notes and then put them and set them up as you go on. I can't do everything for you guys. I can show you guys how to fish, and it's not that hard to do. So when you guys are asking, oh, what are the levels? Can somebody post the levels for NetEase? I tell people not to post their levels because the question, my thing is, and this is my issue, I'm sorry, but how are you learning or trying to learn if you're not utilizing what I'm giving you? It's like you want everything to be a handout. It just doesn't work that way. You tell me you want to learn, you want to know how to fish, you want to do this. Well, I'm giving you everything you need. It's not that hard. It's very simple. These are your levels. Write them down, take a screenshot. Like I always tell you, there's nothing wrong with that. Even in your album, make a photo album of screenshot levels, NetEase. Name that picture in the album. Let's move on to the next thing. Sorry, I had to get that because I see that a lot in the chat. Oh, can somebody post the thing? I'm not at a computer. So how are you watching? How are you managing your trades if you're not at a computer or you're not at your phone? If you can look at the trades, if you can be there to execute a trade, you can be there to watch a chart. If I can do it from my phone, you guys can do it from your phones. Those who have a computer have more of an edge. I'm at the gym majority of the morning and I'm still doing everything, posting screenshots of charts and levels when I can. If I can do this as one person, manage every single thing here, I don't think it's hard for anybody else to do it as well. But let's move on to the next thing. NOC. I'm in love with this player, this play, this chart, everything there is about it. Every single thing about it. That weekly move, that hammer this week. And the funny part is, when we went over it, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And I even pointed it out in last session of last Sunday that the worst can happen is a vacuum down. And somebody in the room in the chat even brought it up and said, wow, Ninja, you called it. See, but I didn't know when it was going to happen. I was still looking at the long side. But that vacuum happened. And the thing was, I did not know it was going to be this past week. But how they vacuumed it so crazy and bounced it off that 14 had me. So the vacuum happened, and then I said, what can happen? They're going to close us within this range here. Now we're in a tight range. This is our range. So my thinking, we can have, this is going to, NOC is going to probably be the showstopper of the week with other in the same sector. But NOC, when it shines by itself. And it has done that, which I love. So this hammer we had last week, I want to see 377.96 touch this week. If we open below 365.72, I am definitely waiting. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to start nibbling. I have to nibble. I'm going to nibble. And I'm just going to start nibbling calls, possibly the following week out, 380s to 390s. Because NOC, as we all know, it has big swings. When it gets moving on a weekly, it has big weekly swings. Last week was 26 points. Before that, there was 40 points. Inside, 17 points. Big move, 40 points. When it had these big moves, that's a great thing. So I'm looking at us touching, this is 916. Well, this is a weekly chart, right? So this week will be the 20th. So around here, 920 is here. So we're getting around 392. I want them to milk these premiums though. It's possible that they can open us down, one more test of the 14 or even 348.55, bounce it off hard again. And I just showed there's a lot of demand here where this wick is at, how they push that price up. So NOC is another one for this week. I'm not going over Peru. I'm not going over anything that's already in the money. VRTX, they held that one down this week. It did very well. The lotto paid. It did pay about 4 to 5%. Wasn't bad, but the hold didn't stay. So that was a little concerning to me. I even looked at I looked at a lot of different plays. I was looking at Hum got beaten down, and we were talking about Hum Thursday live. I don't know if a lot of you remember. Those that were with me live Thursday, when I was like, damn, let's take some lotto Hums. I don't know if Brando, if you're here. Jonathan, I don't know if you're here. ARG, I don't know if you're here. My usuals that are there during live. I was like, Hum looks like a good candidate. It was getting beat up. I'm going to get back to VRTX, but I got to focus on Hum because I was watching it, and I think I even posted a Ninja Alert as a possible good lotto. I liked it. It was getting beaten up Thursday like crazy. Let me see if hourly would be most best. Yeah, so Thursday it got beaten up. Look at this. Boom. 279 all the way down to 260, 267? And I was just liking the lottos. I was liking lottos, 270, 250 lottos, 270 lottos, right? That was the play, even though it kept getting beat up. And then the next day, what happens? Boom, shoots up. Look at that range. 9.3, 9 points. It's the ones that look like, oh my God, this looks good, but you're not sure. So when you're not sure, you take it as a lotto. Because you never know which way it's going to go. So that's but let's get back to VRTX. I don't want to put too many things on the menu for this week because it's just not necessary. I like VRTX. I want to see it retest 172.78 for a bounce and then really get long. I want to see a hammer tomorrow. So I'm looking at this gap down to happen. We touched that 29.78. And I hope they just stabilize it all night so that we can get that juice out of it, that little premium juice. Take our profit. Take some Wednesday longs and some Friday longs for SPY. So with VRTX, we'll get long at 172.78, see how they hold. Let's see what happens this week. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. But VRTX is definitely on it. Something about it. I don't know. I just feel like they're setting it up. How they were holding it down this Friday was crazy. They could have ripped it into close. I was able to get out of calls for the second round, which I took a loss. I got in 100 contracts at 25. I was able to unload some. Then I got back in another 100, and then I unloaded all the rest of the hundreds at 5 cents into close when it was at 74.95 because I didn't want that to go in the money. And then they basically exercised me. So VRTX, I'm looking. This is going to be interesting this week. So everything right now is watch price, watch levels. Red bar, 171.14 has to hold. 173.32 has a bounce level. We're actually trading at an important key level here, which I like. I just noticed that once I actually added my fib retracements inside. Let me just show you guys. This green level here, this green bar. Price is trading right around it. So they did bounce it off for 172.78, which is the 30 SMA. If we get to open above there, I would honestly take a small spec of 175s. But the smartest thing to do, and I tell you guys, always buy time, buy the following week. Take the 175s for next week, not even this week. If you want to take this week's, take 172.50s. Targeting 175.50. They had to break above that, and they could have did that this week. They could have did that. I don't know why they didn't do that, but that would have been awesome. Those would have paid. That was supposed to go $2. We were supposed to see at least 177. That would have put our premiums at 270 for a lotto. And they could have flushed it back down to 175.50 and closed it there, and that still would have been a beautiful setup. But the setup is still nice. Maybe one more pull back and then rip to 179.02. After that, 182.54. Long term, this one has 200 on it. By next March, depends. But VRTX has a nice setup. I like it. I looked at the quarterly. I like the quarterly. That was the focus for this past Friday. Jazz, very interesting one. Very interesting one. I like the pullback. They pulled it back to the 30 SMA. Now, this is triple witching week, so premiums are going to get obliterated this week, which is going to be great. It's going to make even more opportunities to add. I'm honestly going to roll down to 135s. If this gap's below 133, I'm definitely going to get into 130s and 135s. I'm going to add to 140s, but if the 140s are under at least 10 cents, if I get the 140s at 5 cents, I would definitely add there and bring my average down. 135s, I definitely want under $1, like I told you guys last week. So I like the Jazz setup. It's still within the trend. I want to see if this bounces off here, targeting 134.26. We get over 134.26 by Wednesday, no later than Wednesday. Even if by Tuesday, I would prefer Tuesday, we can see 140.62 by Friday. That puts those premiums up a lot by averaging down, though. But we have to make sure that this 130.33 holds closing into Monday. But let's see how we open up. A gap down is always the best. That's going to put the 135s around probably 60 to 80 cents. The 140s definitely by 5 to 10 cents. Make them cheaper. There's a lot of plays I was looking at over the weekend. I'm not going to bring them to light right now because there's just a lot of setups. A lot of things are waking up. And those plays were basically oil plays. I was looking at a couple of things. But they will come about as we go into this week. I got all my my watch list here. They're going to be here for you guys to view. Pru should be seeing a pullback this week and then a move back up depending on how the market goes. But if it does pull back, 88.52 would be a nice gap fill because other than that, there's no other gaps to be filled. So I want to see that 88.52 test. That would bring the 30 SMA up. Other than that, I still like this one for 92 this week. 92.50s to 93.11. Even 93.11. The way Pru's been moving, I mean, I know I was going to talk about this, but I have to talk about Pru. Pru basically did what we discussed last Sunday. It was the Donald. We actually came up with Pru on a Saturday. So last Saturday, we did a 2-hour session. At the end of the session, like towards the end, it came on my radar. And I was like, wow, why we didn't see this? If we got improved prior week of last week, before last week, we would have got Pru at 12 cents. That would have been 12 cents or around, I mean, with us, the max we would have paid would have been like 20 cents. Some of us would have probably paid 30 cents. And it still went to $5 this week, which was amazing. So can't go wrong. 45 cents to $5 plus, almost $6 Friday. I'm looking at 92 this week. By there, I'm going to unload another 80%. So, I mean, I'm writing 90 contracts. So I have a selling at $9 and I have a selling at $10. So majority, I have my whole position actually to sell at $9 just in case, but I want to see what happens. I mean, a gap down would be suffice going into tomorrow with how ES is doing. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I'm fine with that. But definitely a gap down and then a nice hammer to close. And that's Pru. We did NetEase, we did NOC, we did Jazz, CI, another one. There's just so many. Like, I'm just trying to not to have everybody focus on too many things. Levels are still there. Levels don't change. This is going to be very interesting. Just trading between these two levels, what is that? 150 to 170. That's the range right now. Perfect timing for the AC to turn off because I'm actually going to start recording.